That's disturbing.
Hello, peoples of the internet! I'm the Animation Analyst, and today I'm finally making my way into becoming a part of the analysis community of the Brony fandom. For the next several weeks, I'm going to be doing reviews of all the episodes of Season 5 of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, starting with the subject of today's review, the Season 5 two-parter premiere, The Cutie Map, written by MLP veteran M.A. Larson, and the so far hit-or-miss writer, Scott Sonneborn. This episode starts with the main six looking over the new castle Twilight received at the end of Season 4.
Times, Twilight! We found all 6 keys, defeated T-Rex, and got this sweet castle. End of story.
And like all good season premieres, it gives just enough info to catch new viewers up to speed.
I agree with Twilight, and Rarity, and Applejack, and Rainbow Dash, and Pinkie Pie. Oh, and probably Spike.
Being someone who tries to always be in the middle ground in any argument or conflict between friends and relatives, I can totally relate to this. Just another reason why Fluttershy is my favorite character. Anyway, when the main six all sit down on their new thrones at the same time, which I'm surprised hasn't happened sooner, it brings up the titular Cutie Map.
Is that new? I like it.
Well, looks like we're already off to a good start in terms of comedy. One slightly changed intro later, and we cut back to Spike glancing over this new castle map.
Hi, Mom and Dad!
I stand corrected. We're off to a great start in terms of comedy. Anyway, the map shows all the main six's cutie marks over an unknown location on the map, and Twilight comes to the conclusion that it wants them to go there for an important mission of sorts. And just like I predicted at the end of Season 4, the main six have basically become an MLP friendship equivalent of the Knights of the Round Table. And I find that really awesome. Fluttershy, however, doesn't seem to think so, and wants to stay home with Spike.
Me and Big Mac have a huge weekend ahead of us, talking hoofball and trading hoofball cards and arguing about hoofball stats.
So Big Mac and Spike have bro time together? That's nice to hear. At least when Spike gets left out of big adventures, he'll have something to do. Also, because I know at least one person is going to bring this up, no, I'm not bothered at all by Spike being left out of this episode. Because 1, they gave him a good reason to not be there, and 2, since you probably already know how this episode plays out, Spike being there would make things too easy for the main six. Do I wish Spike could do more awesome things like he did in both the Crystal Empire and the Equestria Games? Of course I do. But in terms of this episode's story, I can perfectly see why they left Spike out. Anyway, one train ride and a hop, skip, and a jump over a bridge later, the main six arrive at their marked location, a mysterious-looking town.
Stay behind me, every pony! I'm on it.
Careful, Pinkie!
Well, coming off of her seemingly hit-or-miss behavior in Season 4, I'm happy to say that Pinkie Pie is back to top form for this season. I'm serious, every joke involving Pinkie in this episode made me laugh, and I really like the role they gave her in this episode, as the first one to be suspicious of this town.
Let's just say we found it on a map. Technically, it's a tree chest castle map.
Anyway, the rest of the main six, sans Fluttershy, all seem to agree with Pinkie that the town looks weird. Especially when Twilight points out a very interesting detail.
Forget the smiles. Look at the cutie marks. Okay, that's weird.
Well, maybe they all just happen to be really good at math. Anyway, the main six walk down to the town, and we then enter the disturbing part of the episode.
Welcome.
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 Whoa! Dude, that's creepy.
We then meet 2 of our new characters for this premiere, Double Diamond and Party Favor.
Well, you've certainly come to the right place for friendship.
Josh, can you take this one for me?
I don't like the way you said that word. The way you say that word makes me think of dark jokes, and I don't like making dark jokes.
Thank you. Anyway, they take the main six to check what's behind door number 1 and meet the leader of their town, Starlight Glimmer.
Okay, yep, this pony is a foil for Twilight. You can tell because her name was run through a thesaurus. What are the next villains going to be? Eventide Glitz, Vesper Radiance, Duskshine?
We're happy to have any pony who wants to experience true friendship for the first time.
If you think this episode is creepy now, just wait. We're about to get to one of the really creepy parts, as Starlight decides to explain how her town works in this episode's song, In Our Town.
Life is so grand in our town. We're always filled with cheer. We never have to look around to know that we're all here. In our town, we don't have to wait to find out that our destiny is just to emulate. Let's see those big happy smiles. Life is
As you can tell, this song is based off of 40s war propaganda tunes, and Daniel Ingram, being the musical genius he is, emulates that feel perfectly, while also creating some of the darkest musical lyrics I've ever fucking heard. Yeah, this episode is pretty disturbing if you couldn't tell already.
argue.
Anyway, from what I can gather from this song, Starlight has established some sort of cutie markless cult, in which every pony becomes equal by eliminating their cutie marks, and by doing so, anything that makes each pony unique. In fact, the only thing that separates these ponies other than their names is their species, be it Earth Pony, Unicorn, or Pegasus. I'd be bothered by the fact that this still creates some form of inequality, but as we'll see in the climax, the Pegasi still being able to fly doesn't mean that much, and neither does unicorns having magic. And in case anyone was wondering, no, I'm not going to make any obvious communism jokes. Everybody else has already run them into the ground. So Starlight leaves Double Diamond to attend to whatever the main six might need, and the episode decides to cut the bullcrap and just tell us that Starlight Glimmer is the bad guy.
Well, this will certainly provide a boost to our little community. When the rest of Equestria sees that a princess gave up her cutie mark to join us, they'll finally understand what we're trying to accomplish.
Anyway, while Twilight wonders how one is able to take away a cutie mark, Rarity takes a peek at the local fashion and is understandably appalled.
Wonder no pony's wearing anything.
Rarity, how many times do we have to tell you?
Beg pardon, Rarity, but we don't normally wear clothes.
Also, throughout this whole thing, Fluttershy has remained rather positive of the town, saying that they may be different, but it's not a reason to be rude. Something I can get behind. But as RD points out, the rudeness is coming from the fact that they all keep staring at them. Again, this episode is disturbing. Also, the main six have an argument about their purpose of coming to the town, and we soon meet our next new character, Sugar Belle.
My name is Sugar Belle. What can I bring you? We have muffins.
Wow, MLP can even do awkward humor correctly. Anyway, Sugar Belle brings the main six their muffins and comments on how they were arguing and still seem to be friends. Twilight points out that simple disagreements don't change the fact that they're friends, but then Sugar Belle states an actually fair point.
Different talents lead to different opinions, which lead to bitterness and misery.
Granted, being good friends means you should be able to look past differing opinions and still like each other, but for some, this can seem like a very true philosophy, and it seems like Starlight Glimmer decided to take advantage of those who felt like that. Anyway, Sugar Belle tells the main six she wants to talk to them down in the bakery's basement, but first they'll have to get away from Double Diamond, and they do it in the most hilarious way possible.
I got an idea, but you gotta eat all them muffins, Pinky.
Me? Why me?
You got a stronger stomach than any of us, and that Billy in there might be our best chance at finding out what in the hay is going on around here. I can't believe you ate all our muffins, Pinkie Pie. We best go inside and get some more.
I've accidentally eaten cardboard tastier than that.
I'd make some sarcastic remark on the fact that Pinky's apparently eaten cardboard, but I'm not one to judge since I always like to eat the paper sticks from lollipops. Anyway, Twilight asks Sugar Belle why they met down here, and
So no pony could see what's about to happen.
Actually, no. It turns out that these ponies are a select few who actually miss their cutie marks, and soon Twilight asks them how they got their cutie marks removed in the first place. Another one of the new characters, Nightglider, who I now realize wasn't mentioned by name once in this whole two-parter, tells Twilight about the Staff of Sameness and a vault of all the townsfolk's cutie marks up in a cave. So Twilight gets Starlight to take her and the rest of the main six to this cutie mark vault, while they all quietly discuss their rising suspicions of Starlight and the rest of the town.
I'm curious. How did the subject of the vault come up?
Oh, some ponies were telling us how much they miss their cutie marks, and Pinky. Oops.
Damn it, Pinky! And you were doing so well in this episode. Oh well, I guess it was the fastest way they could have that info spilled out, and Pinky did seem to immediately regret saying that, so I'll let it slide. Anyway, Starlight, now feeling threatened by the main six presence in her town, has the townsfolk surround them. Twilight tries to detain Starlight, but she gets shot by the cutie mark removal spell, and in a surprisingly painful display, gets her cutie mark removed, soon followed by the rest of the main six.
I don't blame you for what you tried to do here today. You've spent your whole lives thinking those marks are a good thing.
Give them back!
Well, now you can spend the rest of your lives here, with us. And we'll teach you just how much better life can be without your cutie marks.
You know, for kids!
After that dark ending to Part 1, we move on to Part 2, where the main six have been thrown into a concentration camp and are being brainwashed. And people keep saying this is just a little girl show. Why? Also, we see that the cutie mark removal spell has had a drastic effect on the main six, since when they try to employ their special talents or anything that makes them themselves, they can't do it. Rarity doesn't have an eye for fashion anymore, Fluttershy can't communicate with animals, Pinkie Pie's become a downer, and AJ...
This door shut tighter than a summer of piglets and shoot. I can't even make countryisms no more.
says the best line in the whole episode. Anyway, after a night of thinking, Twilight gets an idea of how they can get out.
We don't actually have to escape. They'll just let us out when they think we've accepted their philosophy.
But they're never gonna believe we switched over in just one night.
Wow, this premiere really likes to show how smart all the characters are. First, Starlight's suspicion of the main six, and now this. Anyway, Twilight says that while most of them don't seem likely to turn over in one night, Fluttershy would, as pointed out by Rainbow, stating how accepting she's been of the town ever since their arrival.
That's because every pony's so nice, and their village is so pretty, and... Oh, you're right. They probably would believe me. I hate to lie to them. They've been so welcoming and friendly. Aside from locking us in here and trying to brainwash us into abandoning the things that make us special. Okay, I'll do it.
I love this part a lot because Fluttershy herself comes to all these conclusions, and doesn't have to be told the painfully obvious by any of the other main six. It helps show how much Fluttershy has grown as a character, and I love that. Anyway, Starlight and the rest of the town try to get the main six to turn over to the dark side, and they give the appropriate fuck off response. Say, what was that Starlight said a while after the main six arrived?
No pony has ever come to our village and wanted to leave. Why should you be any different? But that is entirely your choice. It's all right, every pony. This is a perfectly normal part of the equalization process for those who haven't quite seen the light yet.
Yeah, sure. Them staying is entirely their choice. You bitch. Insert Hunger Games reference here! Anyway, after Fluttershy tricks everyone into thinking she's on their side, Starlight, in another case of this episode trying to show how smart everyone is, asks Fluttershy to point out the ponies who told her and the rest of her friends about the vault. But before Fluttershy has to do anything she'd regret...
It was me! It was only me! But I only wanted it back for a little while.
You, sir, are the best character in this whole episode.
This guy's a barrel of laughs.
Laughs don't come in barrels. They come from inside you as your body's response to delight.
Wow, even when she's not her hyperactive self, Pinkie Pie can still bring big laughs. Anyway, Starlight lets Fluttershy stay with her until her new cottage is made, and later that night, Fluttershy tries to sneak out and get the cutie marks back. We get a funny joke, and then she discovers that Twilight has brought her and her friends' cutie marks to her house, meaning they'll be even harder to get now.
This one belongs to a princess. It could be very important to our cause.
When I first watched this episode, I thought Starlight was going to try to take Twilight's cutie mark for herself, which would have been an interesting way to take the story, but I like the turn we did get for how much it potentially reveals about Starlight's motivation. Speaking of the turn we got, Fluttershy then makes an interesting discovery about Starlight.
Starlight, you clumsy fool!
Dun dun dun!
Next morning, after the main six tell Starlight to fuck off again, we get probably the creepiest and also funniest face in the whole episode, and with the help of Party Favor, Fluttershy manages to reveal Starlight's secret to the whole town.
Why did you take ours and not give up your own?
I had to, you fools! How could I collect your cutie marks without my magic?
But the staff has all the magic we need!
The staff is a piece of wood I found in the desert.
Well, that explains the lazy name.
Every pony has unique talents and gifts, and when we share them with each other, that's how we—
Quiet!
I stand corrected. That is the best face in the whole episode. Anyway, Starlight escapes to her house while the townsfolk go to get their cutie marks back. We get a Macintosh commercial reference, and Starlight uses an underground passage, on the second floor, to escape. The four ponies we met earlier in the episode all help the main six bust into Starlight's house and give chase to her after learning of her.
Oh, come on!
Wait. A climax in an MLP two-parter where the main six can't do anything and are left to rely on the new friends they made to help stop the villain? Wow, this is a rather nice change of pace. Anyway, after Starlight says,
You shall not pass!
Party Favor uses his amazing balloon abilities to make a bridge. Then Starlight is stopped by Double Diamond using his skiing skills to trap her in a mound of snow, and the main six finally get their marks back.
Yeehaw! Finally, I can buck like a 5-bit snake herder in an Appaloosa ranch house again.
And you got your countryisms back, too.
Seriously, how can you not find that joke hilarious? Anyway, Twilight confronts Starlight and gives a speech about how friendship helped her get as far as she did with magic.
Each of my friends has taught me something different about myself. It was their unique gifts and passions and personalities that helped bring out the magic inside of me. I never would have learned that I represent the element of magic without these 5. And I certainly wouldn't be here to stop you now.
Spare me your sentimental nonsense. I gave these ponies real friendships they never could have had otherwise.
How do you know that? You never even gave us a chance.
Anyway, Starlight manages to escape, meaning we might get a recurring villain thing with her, and the new ponies thank Twilight and her friends for helping them get back to who they used to be. After hearing what's probably the 10th instance of the Willem scream in this show so far, the main six congratulate themselves on a job well done. Also, apparently their marks act as pagers now. I don't know if I find that funny, or just weird.
The map didn't send me, it sent us. You're a part of me, all of you. And there's no doubt you're a part of my mission to spread friendship too.
Aww, I love happy endings. And now it's time for the animation analysis. This is a special part of my reviews where I talk about the highlights of the episode in terms of animation. For this episode, the highlights of the animation are the reveal of the Cutie map itself, Pinkie Pie's facial expressions, and a lot of others for that matter, the symbolic use of the equal sign, like that hidden one when Twilight was thinking of an escape plan, and the animation on the Cutie unmarking. And there are a few little details in the animation that I like when Twilight nervously fluffs her wings a bit when meeting Starlight. Anyway, that's the Cutie map, and if you couldn't tell by this point, this premiere was awesome! After coming off of the amazing storytelling and vibrant animation of the Season 4 finale, this premiere didn't try to overtake that episode in terms of sheer awesomeness. But I think that was a good thing. As my friend Hub Hikari pointed out to me, after all that awesome, I think we needed a bit more of a downplayed story to come off from that, and this episode delivered that and then some. The story is well knit, the characters get great moments, with the biggest praise going to Pinkie and Fluttershy. The song, while not the most memorable, fits the episode's dark tone really well, and the new villain Starlight Glimmer is up there with Discord and T-Rex as one of my new favorites, mainly for the fact that she did all that she did even though she's just a normal unicorn. That is really impressive. I'm really looking forward to her eventual return. I'm actually still debating with myself if this is my new favorite premiere over Season 2's Return of Harmony. I think maybe I like this episode a bit more because the climax is nowhere near as rushed as it is in Return of Harmony. Sorry, Discord, but I still think you're awesome. Anyway, that's the end of my review. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and feel free to leave some review suggestions for if and when I stop doing or take a break from MLP reviews. Anyway, for our next MLP review, we're going to look at another first-time effort by not one, but two new writers with Joanna Lewis and Christine Songo in Episode 3, Castle Sweet Castle. Sayonara, every pony!